Hey, Riverside and San Bernardino. Even with the Bruin case, the gun grabbers are getting even more desperate. Gavin Newsom, 28th Amendment, would gut the Second Amendment. He also just signed SB 2 that prohibits concealed carry everywhere. AB 28 adds an 11-cent tax on gun and ammo, so self-defense would be priced out of reach for most people. Let's face it, all these laws disarm only the people that would use a gun to defend themselves. And if you're ready to fight back and do something to defend your Second Amendment rights, Inland Empire and gun owners is for you.
There you go.
When you become a member, you are joining the most effective local Second Amendment advocacy group in the nation. We're growing the 2A community and are getting more pro 2A officials elected. Membership is only $10 per month. Joining is super easy. Go to iegunowners.com/join.
Symposium prize winner, Firearms Legal Protection Annual Family Membership, plus a Vulcan waterproof rifle case. The winner is Jerry Katz. Thank you, Firearms Legal Protection, for your support and financing the Red, White, and Badass Brew coffee for the symposium. Use code GOR at firearmslegal.com. That's GOR, like Gun Owners Radio, at firearmslegal.com for a discount on your legal protection plan. Speaking of the symposium, our next guest was a speaker there and did a fantastic job. Wonderful guy, friend of mine, Brady Pesola. How are you, man?
Hey, how are you doing, brother?
Good. It's good to hear your voice. You know, you and I met about 150 years ago when you were working at the Glock store and I was just starting San Diego County Gun Owners. And look at us now. Look at us both today. What a couple of fantastic studs.
We've come a long ways, haven't we?
Yeah, I think so. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you making time and speaking at the symposium. Lots of positive feedback. I said it was a great job, and I really, really, truly appreciate it. The name of your talk was The Philosopher Warrior Mindset. Tell people a little bit about that. What is the Philosopher Warrior Mindset?
Well, we hear everyone want to be warriors all the time, you know, especially military, veterans, civilians. They always like the warrior cultures. But the thing is no one ever really talks about the philosophic aspect when it comes to, you know, wanting to defend yourself and that of others. And philosophy simply means love of wisdom. And I think for any one of us, we all want to be a little wise, right? Especially when we are carrying firearms, we're protecting ourselves and other people. So I think adopting a philosopher warrior mindset helps people become a bit more rational and analytical about when they decide they want to pull a firearm to protect themselves. And so within that philosophy, I teach Stoicism. Stoicism is a 2,500-year-old philosophy that uses propositional logic. And basically, it helps inject some logic into the brain, into the cerebral cortex to help combat the limbic response to external stimulus. So let's say someone, you know, let's say on the color codes, right, you are condition orange. You've detected a threat. Your body starts going into a fight or flight response. Well, Stoicism, is practiced in the cerebral cortex. And so that helps put some logic into the mind to help calm you down so you don't make a decision under the influence of emotion. Because, you know, we always say don't make decisions on the influence of drugs and alcohol. Well, emotions affect your brain the same way. So why are we still making decisions on the influence of emotion? So, Stoicism helps bring some logic, some rationality to the brain to help you make a better informed decision so you don't end up in jail.
And you talk about Stoicism a lot, especially on your where I see it most often is your Instagram, which is the Gray Man Project, right? I got that right?
Yeah, Grayman.project on Instagram. Grayman, Gray.
Grayman.project. And how did you get introduced to Stoicism? How did it become a part of your life, and why is it important to you?
You know, years ago, being a Marine, and I've had my own background of things and struggled through some, had my own emotional adversity, just like everybody else does. and I had come across this quote by a guy named Seneca the Younger, and this quote was just, as easy as it was, it kind of struck a chord with me. So then I started deep diving into the research of who he was and what it was about. But the quote was, "We are more often frightened than hurt. We suffer more in imagination than we do reality." And I think that's true for most human beings, especially nowadays when news and media and social media, the purpose of it all is to elicit an emotional response to get you to work the algorithm, share, like, comment. So I think it's important that we start using a rational mind, especially in the times are getting, as a friend of mine say, times are getting weird. A friend of mine calls it biblical. And in these times where we need to really gain control of our emotions, be more rational and logical, and how we approach situations and how we respond to external stimuli.
What's the quote again? Say it one more time.
We're often more frightened than hurt. We suffer more in imagination than we do reality.
I like that a lot. It's similar. There's a saying I like a lot that's similar, kind of along the same lines, and it's basically, I'm paraphrasing. It's something like, the things you worry about or the things that keep you up at night come to pass in the morning anyway, or something along those lines. Where basically all that stuff that you worry about, whether or not it's real or whatever, it's going to happen anyway. Or it either is or isn't going to happen anyway. You worrying about it isn't helping in any way. You getting all spun up about it doesn't happen anyway. And that's kind of the quote you just, it's kind of a cousin to that. I like it a lot. I think it's extremely wise.
Well, thank you. And a lot of the philosophers say a lot of good things, especially in Stoicism. Again, it's propositional logic. Either things are or they're not. And they kind of put it out there like, hey, look, things are going to happen the way they're supposed to. There's nothing you can do about it. And when you worry about it, worrying about the future robs you of the present moment. And worrying about a past that you can't change only takes away the present moment as well. So a lot of Stoicism about being mindful and being present. And that mindfulness is, I think, very relevant towards those of us who are initiated in tactical training, whether it's military, law enforcement, self-defense, whatever it is that you do, being mindful and being present, not letting your mind wander away, which oftentimes when people let their mind wander, they begin to start, working themselves up, start getting angry. They start thinking about a conversation they had or an argument they had, and they start working themselves up. And what happens is it starts offsetting your mental environment. Your mental environment is the harshest place you will ever endure in your life. No matter what happens outside your external environment, whether it's in traffic or in the woods or, whatever situation you find yourself in, if you can't survive your mental environment, you're not going to survive your external environment. So it's important to remain present and mindful about your feelings. So when you do get angry, sitting in traffic and dealing with things you can't control, you can say to yourself, well, why am I angry? And is this anger really helpful in the situation? And is this anger going to influence my next action, which might cause me more problems?
Yeah, no kidding. So what do you recommend? Like the folks that you gave the talk to, you hit on a lot of the points that were in your talk. What do you recommend if someone were listening now and wanted to know more, or when you gave the talk at the symposium and someone wanted to get have a deeper understanding and knowledge of it? What should be their next step?
Hit me up on Instagram, and I'm happy to explain more. There's some videos, reading the classics, Marcus Aurelius, his diary meditations, or the Enchiridion by Epictetus, or Letters from a Stoic by Seneca the Younger. Reading the classics is a good way to start, but I think there's some better explanations on YouTube that talk about the history of Stoicism. And I think it's important not just to read the works of the old sages, but to understand the men behind them and why they wrote what they wrote and why they practiced what they did. Back 2,500 years ago, they didn't have therapy. They had watered down wine and philosophy, trying to figure out, why do I feel this way and how do I make myself feel better? So reading the old classics, but going on YouTube and just typing in Stoicism can really do a lot.
I think that's awesome, man. I think I enjoy your channel. I barely follow anything on Instagram. You're one of the few people I follow, and I like what you have to say. You do an excellent job. You're a good friend, and I really, truly appreciate everything that you've done and are doing. And I think a lot of people took a lot of things away from your talk, and I see the comments on your Instagram, and I know a lot of people take away a lot of good from what you have to say, and I think that's what an amazing mark you're leaving on the world, my friend.
Thank you, brother. Much love to you, and likewise, glad to call you friend.
All right, awesome job. What's your Instagram one more time?
It's at Grayman, GRAYMAN .project, PROJECT.
Brady Pesola, thank you so much, man. I'll talk to you very soon.
Thanks, Mike. Much love.
All right, dude. How cool, huh?
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a super good guy. So after this, we're going to talk. We've barely touched on why he's here and what he's doing. But
He doesn't even know why he's here.
He got lost.
He got lost.
He just got lost. We kidnapped him. But we're going to talk to him next, and a lot of really, really cool stuff going on with two, and all the amazing support he's given San Diego County Gun. Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. If you're watching mainstream media, you're not getting the truth about guns. Gun Owners Radio is the easiest way to stay on top of the Second Amendment fight, the fight for your self-defense rights. You can watch our live stream on YouTube every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, or if you're in San Diego, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform. Just search Gun Owners Radio and you'll find our show. Like and subscribe to help defend and restore the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.